shorty, she a savage. Got a son for you, cause you ain't average. I be on gas fuel, take me out of delusional. Think I got it, cause I imagine it. Fashion shit, yeah, I mix it, I ain't mad. She a addict, but I'd rather say she passionate. Is this a bad time? Remember what happened last time. You better off being satisfied. We doing the same shit every time. Is this a bad time? Remember what happened last time. You better off being satisfied. We doing the same shit every time. I hit you when you were just baiting, so what? You hit me when I was so faded, so what? Said fuck everything cause I'm jaded, so what? I did all this shit and ain't taking no love. That little part of my life fell in love with them drugs. Not taking shit back, I love who I'm becoming. Fuck that shit, shorty, we could be nothing. Back when I'm in Saudi, copping some dumb shit. Only 110 out of 10's in the spot. Only 110 out of 10's where you thought. $250,000, that's on this Richard pocket watch. Still flexing on niggas cause I know they watch. I wouldn't lie to you, yeah. No, I've been tired of you, yeah. You've been too all in my hair. You've been too all in my ear. You crashing out over a tree. I don't even know how to stare. But I don't know what to believe. Yeah, I don't even know how to care. No, I wanted you, but that was past tense. Done had a lot of hoes just on my accent. Carry my chopper, shorty, she a savage. Got a son for you, cause you ain't average. I be on gas fuel, take me out of delusional. Think I got it, cause I imagine it. Fashion shit, yeah, I mix it, I ain't mad. She a addict, but I'd rather say she passionate. Is this a bad time? Remember what happened last time. You better off being satisfied. We doing the same shit every time. Is this a bad time? Remember what happened last time. You better off being satisfied. We doing the same shit every time. Check my phone out, a hoe say she miss me. Smoking this gas got me feeling rich. When it comes to a freak, I ain't even picky. Just off this fit, turn her to a pig. I still my twin Mordecai and Rick. You worry about tech, I give a nigga 50. What a broke nigga always got. That's something to say, but none of them niggas with me. Been blocking windows, I feel like I'm Wendy. No, she don't want Louis, she want a new Fendi. Can't open the text in the public no more. Ain't no way to predict like what she gon' send me. I'm not even doing the talking no more. I don't even think that they really gon' get me. I'm not getting rich, it do not concern me. Cause every day I feel like that Billy ready. I wouldn't lie to you, yeah. No, I've been tired of you, yeah. You've been too all in my hair. You've been too all in my ear. You crashing out over a tree. I don't even know how to stare. But I don't know what to believe. Yeah, I don't even know how to care. No, I wanted you, but that was past tense. Done had a lot of hoes just on my accent. Carry my chopper, shorty, she a savage. Got a son for you, cause you ain't average. I be on gas fuel, take me out of delusional. Think I got it, cause I imagine it. Fashion shit, yeah, I mix it, I ain't mad. She a addict, but I'd rather say she passionate.
Today, we're going to talk about the loaded college basketball slate, crafting up the TNT two-piece, and of course, the squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. Cooper Kupp might be washed. 4 targets, no catches. The guy ran a half a marathon. I've seen 20 tweets about it this morning. The guy didn't do a single thing.
Yeah, that was a frustrating bagel for a lot of fantasy owners.
Is this what we've become down in Blacksburg? Just complacent, happy to be going about our day and being a moose shit program, celebrating a kid getting 1 point against North Carolina A&T? He better fucking score a point. You're playing North Carolina A&T. He's leading college football, Jovan, in every single statistical category for a wide receiver. Every single one. And you don't give that guy the award? Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. At the end of the day, you got to reward teams for winning fucking games. And if they're in a power conference, they're in a power conference. I'm tired of this big dick swinging contest between the SEC, Big 12, Big 10, and ACC. At the end of the day, you got to fucking reward winning. What's going on, chat? Happy BTL episode 612 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your 2 hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you're not tracking your bets on Bookit, what are you doing? Start tracking your bets today over there on the best bet tracking app out there on the App Store or Google Play. Go check out Bookit Sports, use promo code BTL, and start tracking your bets today. Jovan, I wish I didn't track the Spurs -3 last night. I'll tell you that much. How we doing? Happy Tuesday.
God. Doing great, minus that. That was unbelievable fourth quarter. Also out on Rav, incredible stunt. He's pulling on the feed, greening it out, unbelievable. But yeah, that was Moose.
Yep, W Goots, shit wager. I think they got outscored like 15-35 in the fourth quarter, something crazy like that.
Yeah,
you don't see collapses like that. They don't grow in trees.
They pulled their starters early, and they took like a while to put them back in. They kept getting closer and closer, and I was like, all right, let's bring them back in. And then they scored another basket. All right, let's bring them back in. They didn't come in until it was too late.
Poland started. They were up 15 points at most the entire game. It was like the weirdest game ever. Typically in NBA, it's like a team goes up 30, then they're up 5. It's like ups and downs, like a roller coaster. This is the weirdest game ever. They're up 15 the entire game, no stress, and then they blow it. It was almost like they were too comfortable. They got fat, happy, complacent. And we'll talk about that game a little bit more here in a second. We got Dilgod coming in, Jovan, with 5 subbies for the peeps. That makes the Spurs -3 feel a little bit better. Let's go, Dilgods. Sure we can. Clap it up. W's. We got Nelly Nell coming in, resubbing as well. Let's keep it going, fellas. Yes, sir. Let's go, Nelly Nell. Sure we can. We appreciate the subbies, W's. Jovan, let's flash the Sharp Report recap as well and take a peep at that, see how we did. Not our worst day ever. 3-2 from me, Jovan. 4-1 from you. And what do you know? I sniffed out the only loser on the cards and made people feel like it was free and baited them into putting it in the squad ride poll and voted for it. And it was a loser. Shit.
Only L Spurs, of course.
Well, Selah was a great play. Outright. Keep the points, don't need them. Great call there.
Yeah.
Fuck the analytics, right?
They were good.
Throw them out the window. Great call. Great call there. Hype train moving and grooving. Dilgod giving out some more subbies. Mogman getting blessed up with a subby in the chat. W's. We appreciate you, Dilgods, blessing up the people in the chats. Guys, we're also live on YouTube as well. Make sure you're subbed up. We're almost at 10K subs on YouTube. So if you're not subbed already, get involved. Change your life. Okay? Jovan, do we have a second for me to bitch about the Spurs for one more minute? Because I got a couple more things to say.
Of course.
Gutsy, run that shit. When are we going to learn to not tweet out games are over until they're actually fucking over? Jovan, whatever happened to wait until the fat lady sung? I remember growing up hearing that expression. You wait to hear the damn fat lady sing. Nobody waits to hear the fat lady sing anymore. Nobody waits until the final whistle. I don't get it. The game's not over. Why are we tweeting? The game is not over. I don't get it. Rav, what are we doing, brother? Bless your heart. Until that fucking clock strikes 0. After the 4th quarter, that game ain't done. It ain't finished yet. And we learned that last night once again. So shout out, not just Rav, but I've seen it all over the feeds. Seems to be a very trending, thing to do on socials these days, calling games. These games aren't done. And the gambling gods don't fuck with that. Jovan, we got absolutely hoed in that Spurs game last night. And I can't say Rav's tweet, impacted the game, but I also can't say that it didn't. That sucked.
It's a fair statement.
I can't say that it did. I can't say that it didn't. Right?
I'm leaving Rav in 2024, and I'm really honestly mad that Arizona State did not pull that off because I would spite fade them this week just for that tweet.
Unbelievable. I mean, Goots, you want to get involved? I feel like you love to get involved in this.
First off, happy birthday to Lamar Jackson. Second off. Second off.
Okay. Goots, just
I'm just saying happy birthday. Jeez, that crazy.
There's no second off. He's not on the show. You don't get to wish him a happy birthday. He's not on here. He's not going to see this. Okay?
You might.
Shit.
You might.
No, he's not going to see it, Goots.
Just unbelievable.
He's not going to see it.
What are we
I
doing?
Don't even know what to say. I don't even know.
Krispy
what to say. We got
Kreme
Matt
hot
Gothier
now.
coming in. We got resubs at least, Jovan. We got fucking happy birthdays and resubs. Matt Gothier coming in resubbing. Penn State's a whale. I bet.
Sure.
I fucking bet.
Jesus, man.
We got Rad doing this, and you guys want to take the fucking Steelers plus 10. I mean, come on.
We got happy birthdays for the MVP runner-up.
Oh, runner-up.
Getting out there before we got to say the actual comments.
Should be third place.
I Burnham coming in resubbing. Let's go, I Burnham. Sure we can. We got hella subbies today on a Tuesday. Love to see it. Love to see it.
Fuck rap.
Gosh, man, that threw me off. Unbelievable.
Fuck rap.
Well, yeah. Full circle, more of the story. Do not call games until they're done. Okay? Because then you got Goots coming on here talking about Lamar Jackson's birthday. That's where we end up. Unbelievable. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on. All right, we got a lot to get to today. We have an absolutely loaded college basketball slate. We've got a TNT two-piece we got to craft up, and I wouldn't mind taking a stroll over to the NHL or NBA board just to see what we got going on over there. So a lot to get to. for today. I think maybe we hop into the sharp report and get into the winners for tonight. You in?
Of course I'm in.
Let's run it. What am I starting out with here? We got Jovan going first. All right, let's see what he's got cooking up today. You like Iowa?
Of course, yeah. Iowa, which faded them the last time out, and I thought that was a pretty horrendous matchup for them specifically, and it kind of played out a little differently than I thought in terms of how the X's and O's went down in that game, but they got absolutely porked and gave up a Big Ten conference tournament, or not conference tournament, conference play record for how that played out. So now you get to play a team where, again, Iowa is traffic cones pretty much all around the perimeter. They want to force you off the line. They want to make you get to the rim. They don't want you to shoot threes. They'll let you take layup lines. Nebraska's not very good at doing that. That's not their style of play. They're not physical enough. They don't have the guards that'll drive past you to get to the rim effectively enough to make a big time difference. So I like Iowa in this one. Obviously, it's a massive bounce back spot at home. That's why they're catching steam, and I love that. Love seeing that as well. But the matchup, Iowa's such a matchup-based team that whether I'm tailing or fading them, I want it to be pretty reliant on what I think is going to happen on the court. So good matchup. I'll take them in a bounce-back spot.
All right. Love the steam. Love that they're coming off a loss. Nebraska's been red hot as well. Good time to fade on the roads. I'm in. Sign me up. I think that's a really good parlay piece as well on the ML. All right, keep rolling. You got 3 CBB plays today. Love to see it. That's how you know you got a loaded slate, Jovan. What else you got?
Yeah, the other 2 are in the Big 12 games. This one's pretty nasty, I guess, because Kansas State and Oklahoma State, not only are they 2, I don't know, maybe you can call them mid teams, but in terms of the Big 12, they're kind of probably sitting at the bottom or will be very, very soon. But they've also been 2 offenses that have been really, really ugly to watch at times. Like Kansas State, they just played. I watched the TCU game on Saturday when they played them, and I know TCU sucks, so they kind of lend themselves to that. But that game was like watching a Planet Fitness run between teams that just didn't know how to play basketball because the offenses were slow. It wasn't even like it was a good defensive battle. Like the offenses are just terrible. So like both these teams are coming off of a couple performances where the offense really hasn't been there. Oklahoma State at the start of the year, they were running pretty fast. But now they're coming off a handful of games. Granted, they're playing much better defenses against, West Virginia, where they only scored 50 points. And right before that, they got held under 50 points by Houston, which everybody does. TCU just did it last night. Now, I think it's going to be a little different. And I see this total going up, which initially made me like raise an eyebrow to it. But Kansas State, they play really slow, but when they play a team that fouls you a lot and makes you get to the free throw line or lets you get to the free throw line, they speed it up a lot. They've done that really throughout the past couple of years, but especially like this season, you could tell a noticeable difference. Oklahoma State lets you get to the free throw line. And when Oklahoma State plays a team that is going to play you in the half court and play slow, they play slow. When they play a team that's going to run, they run. And we saw that a lot in non-conference as well. So like I feel like this game has the potential to just be a back and forth shootout. Obviously, relying on these 2 offenses to put up a lot of points together is not ideal. But I think with the pace that they're going to go at this game, it's a lot faster than the last couple of games. So I'm taking this over. I think it's moving up for a reason. See points.
You got Kansas State coming in off of 3 straight unders in their last couple of games. You got Oklahoma State. You got 4 unders in their last 5 games. So good time to fade the defenses and maybe back some points in Stillwater. And look, I probably like Oklahoma State to win that game as well. I think both teams are moose shit, but you know what happens in Stillwater. Typically, the Cowboys pull it out, right?
Yeah.
I like them to win, and I like the over in that game as well. And it's up a point as well. What about Utah? I see people in chat saying that's down to 17.5, looking like a pretty sharp play as a dog today.
It's been moving back and forth from 18.5, 17.5, like the last couple hours. So I've been seeing when I can get the 18.5. I got in there, but this might be a little tougher of a sell to convince you, Krabs. I'm not going to lie, because Utah, if we're talking about bad teams in the Big 12, the performances they've put on to start conference play have been pitiful. Like not really just Oklahoma State, Kansas State pitiful, but they got porked by Baylor. They got porked right after that in their last game by Texas Tech at home by damn near 30. So like they've been really, really bad. Now you get to play an Iowa State team. That's their toughest test that not only are they going to have for a couple weeks here, but it's definitely the toughest one they've had so far this season. But the reason why I think they could keep it close, Iowa State, as good as their defense is, Like they're not the best 3-point defense. So when I'm looking at Utah, a lot of the reason they've been pretty poor in those first couple conference games, nobody's really gotten hot from a shooting perspective, even though they have both the Madsen brothers. And I don't know how exactly you say his last name, but Mike Sherm-Johns, the guy from San Francisco, he's there now at Utah. So like they haven't really had one of those games where their shooters gets hot. I feel like we see the Gabe Madsen game like every year at some point. This could be one of them, to be honest with you, because again, as good as Iowa State's defense is, they will let you shoot threes. And I know they're on the road here, so you don't want to exactly bet on them to outshoot Iowa State, but I think this is a spot where they could do it. So I think the matchup lends itself to that. And then if you're talking about Iowa State playing against Utah, Utah will also let you shoot threes. The thing about Iowa State, though, that's not really their game. So kind of like Sela last night. I mean, the line's not clearly as weird to lend itself to that, but I think you're kind of playing into the weaknesses of the other team, Utah is. So even though they've been pitiful, I feel like this game is one of those random ones you look up at the end of the first half and it's close for whatever reason. And then they're grinding it out for the rest of the game.
We got a Rav appearance in chat. Very convenient. He missed Team Krabs. Oh, good. Perfect. Perfect timing, Rav, to join.
So sure, Rav.
He says he will be better. Okay. Well, I'll believe you. I'll trust you because you're my guy. But shit, man. They play 3 quarters in the NBA. They changed the rules. What are we doing? God. Jovan, I like this play. I don't think Utah's covered a game in a month. They haven't won a game in like 2 weeks. It's been really a while since they've covered a game. In Iowa State, they're doing their thing. I mean, look, fading Iowa State is not for the faint of hearts. It's usually a death wish. It almost never works. But in this case, Utah probably should be getting 20-plus points, and that spread's moving down, looking pretty sharp to me. And we know Utah's better than they've been playing. So I like the play a lot. I think we move. 3 winners in CBB for Jovan there. I love it. Good.
Sure.
Good. All right, Goodsy. I got an early CBB play to start it out. Let's go with Xavier. Plus 1.5 against St. John's. St. John's has been low-key on fire. They've won 4 of their last 5. They're 12-3 so far this season. But they got a trip on the road to Xavier, Jovan, and Fremantle is back better than ever. He already played a game as well. This will not be his first game back, which is huge. I hate backing guys, especially stars, in their first game back. But he's got a game under his belt, so I'll be back in Xavier at home in a sharp spot, getting 1.5. I'll take it against St. John's, who's been on fuego to start the season. I'll back Fremantle and Co., who's really struggled, but at home, Xavier comes through and respects coins typically more often than not. So tonight I'll back them in a very sharp spot, only getting 1.5 to a much better St. John's team.
Yeah, I like that. I like fading St. John's when the opportunity presents itself. So I'm in on that.
Chat's losing their mind that there's no Florida on the card for either of us. I mean, they're minus 190. So
yeah, I already took the ML and it's up to minus 200. Damn near. You want me to put that on there? Like I don't know what to do.
No, I don't. But good play in WCLV. Georgia plus 2.5. Go Dogs. We're not talking football. We're talking basketball for Georgia today, and they're playing Kentucky. They're getting 2.5 points at home, coming off a loss. Not really surprising, but Georgia's basketball team, their program is getting better year in, year out, as they should with the NIL money they got down there. All their sports teams are going to be great going forward. And Kentucky's been on fire, right? They're coming off that great monumental win against Florida over the weekend, Jovan, where they won 106-100, I believe, in that game. So they're on fire. They're 12-2 right now. Mark Pope time in Kentucky has been great to start out. But I think this is their first, I wouldn't even call it a bad loss, but first loss here in a couple games. And Georgia gets right after a loss in their last contest. But before that, they were on fuego. This Georgia team might not have all the stars, the big name guys that you know, but at home, they've been really good over the last 2 years. And the spread's down to 2 some places now. I'd lock in Georgia before that spread gets any closer to a pick.
Yeah. You know how I feel about Georgia whenever they get in these bigger games that they don't typically come through in, because I don't think this is the most talent they've had in that team for a while, even with Anthony Edwards as a part of it since those years. But when they get in these big games, big spots at home this year, I'm going to take them. So I'm very much with you.
And then I got one more nasty CBB play for you. It might be the nastiest one on this card. Vanderbilt. Well, their record wouldn't say so, but their team would. Vanderbilt, another program that's just great now with NIL. They got rich alumni, and that means their teams are good. That's really all it takes. And Vanderbilt, 13-1. They got a new coach coming in this year, the JMU coach, who I think is a genius. He brought a couple of his guys, but Vanderbilt pretty much rebrought in their entire team this season, a whole new squad, and they've been great so far. And they've got talent on that roster, Jovan, and they're on fire right now. I'll take them at home, getting a couple points. This is one of those cases where I care more about that opening line, where they opened up a favorite briefly before this closing line. Now they're a dog. Mississippi State catching some steam. I don't care. I'll fade the steam here in this spot, and I'll back Vanderbilt, who I really still don't think the books have adjusted to how good this team really is already in year one of Coach Byington. I'm bought in to Vanderbilt and what they got going on down there, both on the football field and on the hardwoods. And I think they get a win outright tonight against a ranked squad, but I'll take the plus 2.5 because we know there's some fluke shit in CBB.
Yeah, I'm down for that. That's a game I had absolutely no idea what to do with. So that's probably going to be your freest play on the card.
Trice Pick says, what do I like better, Vandy or Georgia? I like Georgia better, but it's close. And I really like all three of these plays. Okay. Jovan, you want to go over your prize pick squares? What are you cooking up today?
Sure. I'm down for that.
Ooh.
I got a couple curries today, Krabs.
Huh.
Just a couple of them. Start with Devin Booker, which I'm kicking myself because I know we had the Bradley Beal conversation yesterday after he got moved to the bench. And what do you know? Generational performance. And I didn't end up getting to the table with it. But I got to get something involved with the Suns in this game. And I think it's Devin Booker, who is coming off of, he hasn't had like many generational stinkers so far this year. It's just kind of been like a little hills and valleys of inconsistency. He really hasn't had like a really bad stretch of a couple games in a row. Part of that's because, injuries have kept other guys out of the lineup. So he's had to be the number one option a few times. But now he's coming off of that game. First kind of new set or new rotations yesterday. 3 for 16 and 1 for 5 from 3, and a low-scoring defensive game against the 76ers that they ended up winning, but sure as hell wasn't because of him. It was a generational performance by Bradley Beal on the second unit. Who would have thought? But now he gets to face the Hornets defense on a back-to-back, obviously. If you look at how these games with the Suns specifically go on back-to-backs, because they have so many guys that can be the alpha at any point. Sometimes it's KD, sometimes it's him, sometimes it's Beal. Anytime there's a back-to-back, I just like to take anybody who was not the guy the game before that, and it happened to be Beal. You can argue KD, I guess, could be the guy today, but in this matchup against the Hornets, when you know you're going to have plenty of opportunity to shoot, I look at the square and I see it has to be the Devin Booker day in a bounce back after that horrendous shooting performance when you know he's going to have all the opportunity in the world to do it. So give me Devin Booker. I think that's where the points are going to come from in this one. Then a little different because I guess Devin Booker, you could argue, is going to have the ball in his hands a hell of a lot more than Miles Kelly. But similar to, who did I do this with? I think this was with Humacross on Illinois against Oregon. Oregon's one of those teams that we talked about last week. Like the way they defend, they're going to leave a lot of your spot-up shooters open because they want to make sure you don't get to the rim. Texas is the same way, and especially being that Janai Broome is a massive interior force that Texas is going to be worried about, and they've doubled a lot of big men in the post so far this year. I would not be shocked if they do that again here, but defensively, they want to make you shoot over top of them. And again, when you have Broome in there, that only comes times 10. So again, another square that I look at, and the volume's pretty consistent at just a handful of 3-point attempts because Auburn has so many guys. Broome takes up so much volume. He's not the main, ball handler. He's something he's not really used to since he's come over from Georgia Tech, but he's going to be in a pretty key role. Him and the other couple shooters on the road, especially at shooting over the top of the Texas defense, definitely helps too that, he's the smaller guard. So he's not catching any of the lengthier, really good defenders that Texas has to throw at you. He's going to be getting smaller guys to shoot over. So I think the rotations aren't really going to be there for Texas. They haven't really been there so far this season. This is how Auburn, they're going to run through a lot of Janai Broome, of course, but the daggers are probably going to come from the 3-point line over Texas.
If I was Texas, I'd do everything I can to slow down Janai Broome and make him beat you from the 3-point arc. So that makes a lot of sense to me. And I think that game could be closer than people expect. I'd probably lean Texas on the spread, and I never really fade Auburn. I think they're probably my natty champ still so far this season. I think they're fucking unbelievable. But I think Texas keeping this game close could end up being a good thing for your play here with Miles Kelly and Auburn needing some points in this game and not being a blowout. And then the Suns game, I like that play from Devin Booker. Obviously, the chart very reds, and that totals up about 5 points in that game already today. So I think you got two really good-looking squares right there on the board.
Sure.
Let's move on to mine, Goodsy. What am I crafting up over there? Zach Fremantle, more than 17 points. I talked about Xavier, and I talked about their star returning to the lineup last game. It's like he didn't miss a single game, really. He returns. He was great. He's their whole, livelihood. He's their entire team, to be honest with you. And today, if Xavier wants any chance of keeping this game close and a game with the total moving up, and I think there's going to be a lot of points, I honestly thought about putting the over on this, sharp report before I put Xavier on here. I think we see some points, and I think Zach Fremantle steps up for Xavier. He carries this offense once again, like he does time in, time out, or time and time again for the Xavier Musketeers team at home. He comes through, and I think this got bumped up as well. Typically, these squares are not sitting right at the even number of 17. And I think it probably got bumped up looking at this total and knowing what Fremantle's capable of. This guy's a fucking stud. Best player on the offense by far. He carries that offense to a big-time win at home. And then we're going Sangoon, keeping this one simple against my Wizards. What do we know about the Wizards? Well, bless their hearts. They got a lot of heart and they got a lot of young guys. They're cool, but they stink. They don't play any defense. And they're big man. They really don't do shit or rebound. So I'm back in Sangoon, coming off a couple tough games, Jovan. I think he absolutely grubs against Alex Sarr and co. On the boards and just his points as well. Both his charts extremely reds. He's in for a great matchup and a great game against the Wiz Kids on the road tonight.
Yep. Never going to hear too much from me taking, especially a big man, but really anybody against the Wizards, of course.
I mean, yeah. Has to be done. Looks like chat likes that Fremantle square. Goods. Shout out Cam Lamar Miller. I mean, yeah, that was insane last night. WA4, good call. I mean, geesh. He was him, bro. Amen Thompson over half a three. I mean, yeah, take anybody on the Rockets today, and you're probably making coins against the Wizards. Yep. Jovan, any other thoughts, concerns, comments about the Sharp Report plays?
I don't think I have any comments, no.
Okay. All right. Let's move. Let's groove. We could either craft up the NBA TNT two-piece, or we can go over this loaded college basketball slate. Which one do you want to do first?
Maybe we go TNT two-piece first.
Ooh.
Potentials.
Let's talk some NBA. Let's talk some Lakers and Mavs. Okay. Lakers up to, I believe, 6.5 on the spread in this game from 3.5. Could there be some injury news? I'm pulling up the lineups right now.
I don't know if it's some new news, but I know we already kind of knew that Luka and Kyrie were not playing.
Yep. LeBron and AD game time, but probable. I never understand why they say game time and then you click on it and they're probable. Shouldn't that mean they're probable? Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's probably why the Lakers are catching some steam. Guys on the Mavs are out. Total in this game has dropped a lot as well, so it might be tough to find a more than that we like in this game. But Jovan, any squares sticking out to you right off the rip?
I mean, I definitely think it would be a decent idea to go after some Mavs, try and pick a guy there because obviously there's no Luka and no Kyrie. Not this the first game. They had one yesterday, but there were some weird squares up yesterday. Take advantage of. They had that weird double bagel. Najee Marshall threes attempted that turned green in the first half, and he doubled his line. So I would not mind looking at the Mavs.
Okay. I'm looking at the Mavs currently. There are some random McGee's up on the boards.
Yes, there should be.
Jaden Hardy.
I would not mind taking Jaden
Marshall.
Hardy. I don't know what they're going to do with their lineup because their lineup was weird yesterday. They ran like point Najee Marshall and just a bunch of bigs. And if that's going to be the case again, I mean, Jaden Hardy, once he came in, he started chucking, especially late in the game yesterday. So if they're going to do that again against the Lakers, he's chucking again.
And I hate to bring him up, but Spencer Dinwiddie. He's got an interesting looking square.
That he does.
Could see him going off today. What do you guys think, chat? Anybody know anything about this Najee Marshall guy?
Yeah,
they picked this guy up off the streets on the way to the game. Who the hell is this guy?
No, he's goated. He's always been like one of the better defenders in the NBA. So he's had a spot on rosters. He's been on the Pels or was on the Pels for a while. It's kind of moved his way around, but they've been running him at point, bringing the ball up, which was weird. So like I don't know if they're going to do that today, but I mean, if they are, good for Najee. But that just means Jaden Hardy is going to be Curry on the second unit.
Money Habits in chat saying there's another quad bagel square up. Who is it, bro? Jesus.
Quad bagels.
Amen Thompson.
Oh my God, there is a double bagel. Julius Pork double bagel just got put up. Oh,
Yeah.
Amen Thompson. Amen Thompson doesn't count. It's got to be 1.5s. 1.5 for bagel status. 0.5s are excluded. But double bagel.
I got a
Julius
weird feeling in
Pork.
my nads that Spencer Dinwiddie's about to just turn into fucking LeBron James in this game.
Dinwiddie against the Lakers too. Wouldn't that be hilarious?
I could so see it, bro. I like his points.
12.5. It could be
Yeah.
Ma. It could be so Ma.
Yeah, I'm just not liking these random McGee's, these other guys. Somebody in chat said Najee Marshall. I don't know if I could do it, man.
Yeah. I took him yesterday, obviously, and a couple different things. But man, it might be Spencer.
All right, let's keep Spencer locked in for now. Let's go look at the second game, Boston and Denver. You got the Celtics up to -6 from -4, that opening line. No crazy injuries in this one. Aaron Gordon's out. But besides that, nothing really crazy going on here. What do you like in this game? The total opened up pretty high. It hasn't moved much in this game.
Yeah, kind of an odd game. I definitely debated putting the Celtics on here. I don't take the Celtics very often, but definitely considered it today.
So maybe looking at some Celtic squares.
Yeah, I was going to say, it might just be Kristaps.
Wow, I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a great game against OKC and hadn't really done all of that much before that against really any opponent worth a shit, frankly, because he's been going off against the more terrible teams. But he had a good matchup against OKC. I did see him all over the feed then, but now I think it's a little bit of the same, especially because they can't switch Aaron Gordon onto him now. So you're going to get a defensive advantage or matchup advantage defensively there. Just might be Kristaps, especially, I mean, size-wise, too. Rebounds, we could put PR in here or something there because he's probably going to grab on the boards, too.
24.5 points and rebounds.
That might be it.
Damn, bro. His points are at 18. His rebounds are at 7. You combine those with no mathematician, but that's 25. We're getting a discount.
Well, it's probably because I would assume the points are 7. I blame this all on Rav.
Let me get a 10. Let me get a 4. I blame Spencer Dinwiddie. I blame Rav. We got Falser in chat. Okay.
Rav.
Okay. Falser. Up and moving. Oh, yeah. We're so back. We got DJ Fitz up in this bitch. Let's go.
There you go. That's how we know we're back.
Let's go, Fitz. Fitz, you got any winners for today? Let me know. Let me know. Okay.
It's been way too long without a Fitz platter.
I know. Let me get some Fitz plays. All right. I'm going to drop the link to the Sharp report. Or sorry, not the Sharp. The TNT two-piece in the chat. The Prize Picks link is now in the Twitch chat if you want that puppy. So, yeah, we did take Spencer Dinwiddie. We took his more than 12.5 points, and we paired that with Kristaps Porzingis more than points and rebounds. Okay? Two-piece. Hold it. Dubs.
Hold it.
All right. Yeah, dude. We need some Fitz winners, man. Straight up. Fitz, can you just send me a video for like 5 or 10 minutes of you just recording all your plays in my DMs? All right. Jovan, we crafted the TNT two-piece. We could stay on Prize Picks and craft up more winners, or we could go to the college basketball slate and check out those plays because the slate's loaded.
Yeah,
what do you want to
go to CBB Slate. We'll be back to the PP board, I'm sure.
Okay. All right. Let's talk some college basketball. There's some insane games today. Anything in NC Central, Morgan State, 4 p.m. Eastern, early start.
People are saying this game of the year, but sadly, no. I do not have anything in that game.
I'd say I lean NC Central, catching some steam and points on the road. 2 pretty even squads. Thought that was some respect. I'd say I lean NC Central, but I'm not going to bet it. But if you're looking for an early play, could be NC Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, if you're trying to itch your gambling fix this afternoon. Okay. Xavier against St. John's. Already talked about that one. Arizona, West Virginia. Jovan, I want to hear your thoughts on that game. Arizona up from -1.5 to -3.5 now on the spreads. They've played like quail meat all season. It's got to be Arizona, right? Fade W coming off some big wins.
Probably is. I don't want to play it though, because I mean the line I guess looks kind of weird initially because West Virginia's also been playing well. Arizona's starting to get hot, but nobody really talks about it because we all saw them in non-conference kind of flop a couple times. I just don't think people are, books included, are kind of tapped into just how good West Virginia actually is. So maybe this is a little blip on the record before they go on another run and they realize that, but I'm not running to the counter for Arizona.
Okay. I will be slowly jogging to the counter to lock in Arizona. I'm playing them today. I think that's a pretty crazy line with how bad they've looked overall this season. I know they're getting back on track now, but I think it's time to fade W and back Arizona at home. Like if Arizona was playing well and they were -3.5, I wouldn't blink an eye. I'd be like, all right, that's normal. That's where they should be with how good W's been this season too. The fact that Arizona is still catching this respect, I feel like it's got to be the Wildcats on the right.
Fair.
Georgia Tech, Syracuse. Looks like Georgia Tech flipped to a fave. Syracuse opened up a fave there with how bad they've looked, but they're home. So what are you going to do? Make it a dog when they open up? Probably not. This line's probably where it should be right now. I still kind of like Syracuse at home. What are your thoughts with the line flip?
I kind of do too. Can't really catch me betting on Eddie Lampkin anytime soon. Especially, I will say the one thing that kind of kept me around is it's probably not the most technically skilled big man group Georgia Tech's had in a couple years. They still have Ndongo in there, but the rest of the bodies they throw in there are probably not the best, which is why they've been, I don't know, iffy against bigger teams to start the year. Syracuse isn't that, but we'll see what Eddie can do. I ain't betting on him.
All right. What else? Max Christie assist square from Jay Nasty is talking about. I mean, that's a nasty square to be bringing up. I know we already went over the NBA, but I'm looking at it. It's a greened out 1.5 assists. I will bank the less than in my Prize Picks app, and we'll move and keep talking CBB. Okay. What else? Tennessee, Florida. Obviously, playing Florida has to be done. Fading undefeated Tennessee, the last undefeated team in college basketball. They have to be faded, and Florida coming off that loss. Perfect spot, Jovan, to back them once again. Your Gators. Super in.
Yeah, it's not even just a line play or anything. I like the matchup for them. So it'll be, I don't know, Tennessee's biggest advantages come from, I don't know, their size, their physicality, their rebounding. Florida, I mean, for the last year and a half, has been one of the best rebounding teams in all of college basketball on both sides of the floor. So not to say that completely eliminates what Tennessee can do, but it certainly helps. It puts a big chunk into it. So yeah, bounce back in the O-Dome.
What about Pitt and Duke? Seen a lot of people saying Pitt hangs around today. Seen people in chat talking about it. Seen people on the feed talking about it. But I'm seeing the spread move towards Duke. Two teams with similar records. Both have 2 losses. Both have been on fire. Do you think Pitt pulls off an upset here, or could it be fake sharp, maybe some bait?
I don't even know if it's sharp, dude. This line looks fat, like absurdly fat. Because maybe it's just like I have more respect for Pitt than a lot of other people, or I think they're better than a lot of other people do. But I don't know. Like I'm looking at this line. I remember the line was pretty similar to this last year when they went into Duke and beat them outright. That was a big game, one of the biggest wins they've had in quite some time. And now we're staring at a bigger line with what I think is a better team. Obviously, when you put Cooper Flag on the other side, that's going to attract more eyes. And again, a lot of people think Duke is a lot better than they actually are. But I just don't know if I see it. I think defensively, Duke's going to give Pitt hell. They're going to put on a lot of ball pressure, and that's the part that they're really going to suffocate Pitt's offense. So I'm just really not sure where it comes from, and maybe that's why we're seeing such a fat line.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's Duke. Sorry, Gutsy. I know you like Pitt, but I think it's probably Duke here laying it. 14.5, big old number. And look, it's like betting on the Yankees, so they're going to get more respect than they probably should. And also, Pitt never gets any respect on the lines.
Yeah.
They're not ranked, so they don't get respect. But again, for
I don't know.
they've kind of started to, though. Again.
They've kind of started to, though, which is, I don't know, it's turning my head because, they're, double-digit favorites. Granted, they're, at home against the West Coast teams the last 2 games, but I was a little surprised to see those lines as fat as they were. And I was like, maybe the books are starting to catch on and respect Pitt a little bit. And then we see them hanging 2 touchdowns and a hook on the road at Duke.
Oh.
Seems odd to me.
Yeah. And also, we can fade Pitt because of Rav.
Also, fuck Rav. Absolutely great point.
Right? Keep it simple. Okay. I like Georgia against Kentucky a lot. If you guys missed it earlier in the show, that was on the Sharp Report. Loving Georgia. Go Dogs against Kentucky. Anything in Georgetown and Marquette? Can we talk about the Hoyas for a second? Because nobody really is. I mean, they're 12-2. They're unbelievable. I mean, it looks like Coach is saving his legacy somehow, some way after leaving Providence. Ed Cooley has his Georgetown team cooking. They got the Harvard transfers playing great. All the pieces they brought in have fit pretty well. They got the TCU kid who came over, Jovan. He's been pretty solid as well, the guard. Everything has clicked pretty good in year 2 here for Coach Cooley. Do we think they stand a chance of keeping this one close against Marquette? But also fading Marquette at home is actually a death wish. It never, ever works.
100% a death wish, and it's tough to, I guess, take Georgetown, even though nobody really respects them at this point. I kind of do. And they're put together a string, couple weeks of really good performances, but I don't know. This team just seems different in the sense that defensively they're so much better on the ball. Mikey Peavy's a big part of that. Shout out to Goat. They're a lot better in the paint. So defensively, I feel like they can have a counter to a lot of the stuff Marquette's going to do, a lot of their cuts, a lot of their actions. So maybe they keep this one close. I have no interest in fading Marquette because they're just the greatest team of all time when you bet against them at home.
Yeah, I'm not fading them, but I want to give some respect to Georgetown. They look great this season so far. We'll see how long it lasts. They look great. Cincy Baylor. You have any thoughts on Cincy versus Baylor? Looks like the Baylor Bears at this point have taken a step back so far this season, and they're coming off a loss, but they're also catching some steam against Cincy, who was on fire and then just dropped their last 2 games as well. So 2 teams who I think we're both pretty high on overall, but not playing their best basketball of late. Who do you think pulls it out and bounces back?
I think this might be a Cincy spot. I know they looked pretty, I don't know if pitiful is the right word, because I don't know, they played Arizona pretty tough. That was a tough game. I think a tough matchup for them too, but I don't know. I feel like the last couple of games for them, that game and the weird Kansas State game where they had to go on the road and you could kind of feel a loss coming. I think you got involved in that too. They didn't put their best foot forward in those games, and those are games they easily could have won. There were some late game collapses on both sides, and now I'm just not really super high on what Baylor's defense looks like right now, because I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and act like they've been giving up 90 points a game. That hasn't been the case, but against Iowa State, they let them get whatever they wanted in the paint. Utah, I'm not even going to count that game because that was a gimme game. Before that, they were letting all of the big non-con teams get whatever they wanted in the paint, and Cincy right now, with the injuries they have, all they can do really is score in the paint. That's their crutch. So if they don't have to do that, I mean, I wouldn't say smooth sailing, but it's a great thing for them. So I kind of wanted to take Cincy in the points.
Ooh. All right. Maybe Cincy's a live dog. I could see it. I will not be playing anything in that game. I have no idea who's bounced back in that game. What about LSU and Mizzou? 2 teams who have been pretty solid. Nobody's talking about them this year. Shout out Mizzou. After not winning a game in conference play all last year, they look much better. I mean, they got a whole new roster coming in. And although they've dropped 2 of their last 3 games, they're at home. They should beat LSU in this spot. I mean, they're laying 7.5. I'd say I'd probably lean Mizzou against LSU, who I just am not that high on this season.
Wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't be shocked if LSU got this one, though. I wonder, I haven't looked at this, but I guess we can talk about this when we get to that BYU Texas Tech game too, but there's a thing in the Big 12 where when teams play Houston and then they play a relatively close spread game after, they've been terrible. There's like numbers out there to support that too. I wonder if like this year's Auburn team, the same might apply, because I know Mizzou just played a dogfight with them that they somehow covered. I think they covered by the hook or something very, very close. And maybe there's a little hangover against LSU, who's coming off of playing, a run and gun game against Vandy, a little 5-out, and they fell just short. So I wouldn't be shocked.
All right. I will not be betting that game either. Really good game, though. Tons of great matchups across the league, across college today. Dead Larry Bird in chat saying, speaking of Missouri, look at Missouri State. Yep, Missouri State coming off 3 straight losses, playing UIC, who I believe dropped their last game to Belmont. But before that, they handed Drake their first loss of the season. And overall, UIC has been a covering machine this year. They are 8-4 against the spread. They've covered 5 in a row, and they're playing good ball overall. This is a spot that kind of reminds me of your CLA spot yesterday a little bit, where you got a red hot team who should not be goods, and they're not getting respect on the lines, probably for a good reason. Let's back the home team here, Missouri State, coming off a couple losses. I'd say that's a pretty good looking play to me. I'd lay the 2.5 or the ML if you're putting a fatter bet on it. I like it.
Might get in on that.
I like it. All right. What else in CBB today? We got SMU and UNC. SMU has looked much, much better than UNC so far this season, but it's still UNC. That's why they're laying 6.5 here in the spots. Do you think the Tar Heels, get back on track here with a big time win? Do you think SMU maybe covers and hangs around? Do you think they're legit? What are your thoughts on this game?
I think SMU's good. I really don't have any want to take them on the road in any of these big first time ACC games, which I promise not that this was on the road, but it's not recency bias because of what they did or didn't do against Duke. They got absolutely destroyed, but it's kind of tough getting the Duke UNC 2-piece in a week. One of them's at home, then you're going to North Carolina for the second end of it. So I don't know that I want to take SMU in any of those games, but I do think their offense can at least score on them. I wouldn't mind the over in this game because UNC is just like SMU, a little undersized and not incredibly physical in the paint. So both teams, I think, will have a field day at the rim.
All right. Chad is asking anything on Oklahoma State, Kansas State. Jovan's got the over in that game. What else? Iowa -4. Yes, Jovan has that on the sharp report as well. That's a good looking play. C-Dot, what's goods? Dave Martinez burner. May have been a little corp, but what did you guys pair Florida ML with? I don't know what I'm going to pair it with, but I will tweet it out with whatever I do. And I think Jovan got WCLD and locked it in yesterday, like a smart person. So,
yeah, I did, but I'll probably lock it in a Bozo pack with something else. I got to decide what that is too. Maybe I'll tail Krabs.
All right. What about Texas Tech BYU? That's a pretty good looking game. There's like 20 great games on today in college basketball. Jeesh.
Yeah, so this is the one I wanted to bring up.
Opened up a field goal. Spread shrunk about in half. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, so I was saying this because Houston, teams that play Houston in Big 12 play, and then they follow it up with a coin flip game, whether it's at home or on the road. I've been noticing this. I mean, I noticed it last year, and then even when Houston, it's kind of hard to take that same sample size, but even in the American teams struggled in that same vein too. So in the Big 12 last year, there were a lot of teams that struggled in that next game. BYU is in that spot. They got destroyed by Houston, kept in a box. They scored just about 50 points around there, I believe, in that game. Now they play a Texas Tech defense that is not as physical, but they're built kind of the same way. They want to keep you away from the rim, which you would think would be good for BYU because all they really want to do is shoot. They have a bunch of shooters, but they've played those teams that have done that this year. They haven't really done all that well. And I'm not just talking about Houston. I'm talking about a lot of the other games where Ole Miss, I think, made an adjustment in the second half of their game, and that's why they pulled away in that game. There have been a couple instances of this. So I would not be shocked at all if Texas Tech went on the road. Really tough place to play in Provo, I'll give you that. But I would not be shocked if they went and snuck one at BYU in this game. Which I do think it's pretty odd that the spread is moving their way. You don't see that too often in Provo, period.
I agree. It's a stay off spot for me because BYU coming off that loss, I don't want to fade them. But if I had to bet this game, gun to my head in GTA, I'm taking Texas Tech with you on the road. That spread down from 3.5 to 2. 100%. 100%.
Yeah. I would love it so much more if it wasn't conflicting spots. I don't really hold much weight on blowing out Utah, I guess, but they are doing that. They're coming off of that. Texas Tech is.
Getting into some of these night games, I don't think I asked you. How do you think the Auburn-Texas game pans out?
It's hard to really bet against Auburn. I don't think it'll be smooth sailing all the way through. I feel like it's going to be one of those games where anytime Texas has like a big team that's better than them at home, they have hope for a little bit, and then it eventually dies down in the second half. That's probably what this is going to be. They'll hang around for a bit and then eventually start pulling away. Texas is just soft. Call it what it is. They're a soft team, and that's not a mentality thing. That's just how they're physically built. Like if you're an Auburn team who loves to beat up on teams and you're facing a team where like your biggest challenges in the paint are Shedrick and then a freshman, really, and then guys off the bench that are also not very physical, it's not going to hold up for 40 minutes. So,
probably not.
Yeah, Auburn's probably going to pull away late.
All right. What about San Jose State and Utah State? Utah State ranked 14-1 silently, just really good once again. They've won 4 in a row after dropping their first game of the season. They're playing on the road tonight in San Jose after the Spartans have come off with 3 straight L's. Spartans aren't good, but do we think the Spartans can make this game weird and keep it within 10? Looking at the spread, it looks a little short to me.
They just might, and I believe this is also, Utah State's first game finally getting ranked. Yep. I feel like in the Mountain West especially, that's just a cursed game. Whenever you play your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday game, right after that happens, especially when it's on the road and kind of a trappy seeming spot. So yeah, I would not mind San Jose State keeping it weird in this game.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm probably going to play that, to be honest with you. The plus 9.5 at home against Utah State. What about Michigan, UCLA? Ranked matchup. I hate UCLA. I want to bet Michigan out of spite. But I also think Michigan's just a better squad. And with the FAU coach coming over and taking over this team, I've been pretty impressed with the Wolverines so far. And you got the veteran presence of Danny Wolf as well on the road, which I like betting on and backing. And I want to fade UCLA, who's been one of the luckier teams in college basketball so far this year.
Yeah, I kind of like UCLA in this game. I don't know that I'm going to get to bet it, especially looking at the picket splits there. But I think it's kind of a tough matchup for Michigan as much as I love that team kind of on the long term. I feel like it's kind of a tough matchup for them to face a defense that's finally going to slow them down and force turnovers, which again, like Michigan's been really, really good. But if you're ball pressuring them for, I don't know, really all up the court, a lot of teams will full court press them. TCU did that for a little bit. They'll turn the ball over if you make them. So like, I wouldn't be surprised if this turns out to be a real sloppy game. It's not a hot take because like UCLA's defense will do that to a lot of teams, but they're also coming off of this Nebraska game where they looked absolutely pitiful, and that was on the road, one of these weird Big Ten road trips, and then they got to go over to Maryland. Wouldn't it be something if they just got one of the biggest wins of their season at home against Michigan, and then they're going to go face Derek Queen on the East Coast and pick up a devastating loss? It kind of feels like that's what they're headed to.
Yeah, maybe this is not the spot to fade UCLA, but shit, man, I hate that team, and they're lucky as heck. But Mick Cronin said whatever happened last year did not work. We're bringing in a whole new group of guys, and it's worked out much better for him. And coming off of 2 losses in his last 3 games, maybe this is not the spot to fade the Bruins. Okay.
I also just hate that it's still calling a Pac-12 after dark. 10 p.m. Eastern start for Michigan on the West Coast.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really tough spot, no matter how you slice it. You're not wrong. A couple other late night games because there's 3 pretty solid ones, or at least 2. New Mexico, Wyoming. We back in Donovan Dent and New Mexico on the road against Wyoming? Or are we back in the new and improved Wyoming squad with the spread down from 7.5 to 6.5?
I mean, I can't bet on New Mexico after that buzzer beater win in OT against Nevada. Probably the biggest emotional spot they might have for the entirety of the season. And now you're going on the road to Wyoming, which is always super weird to play at. I feel like those games, I'm just kind of spitting off the top of my head, but I feel like those games for at least the first half are always a dogfight before New Mexico usually pulls away a little bit at the end. It's just always never like a blowout from start to finish, if I remember so correctly. So I don't know. That could be another tricky spot in these Mountain West games.
Yeah, I like Wyoming late night. Might have to be a vintage Krabs play, late night Wyoming, plus 6.5 on the spreads. What about UNLV and Boise? Spreads hovering around 8.5. You like the Broncos or you like the Rebels?
I got nothing for you in that game, Krabs. Boise State has had my head in a blender for the last couple weeks, and I can't with them.
Yeah. I think it's probably Boise in that spot, catching some steam, but they've been very, very up and down so far this season. I don't know if they're frauds yet, but they're certainly on fraud watch, and they've had some bad losses so far this season. I thought they'd be pretty good. I thought this would be one of Coach Rice's better seasons, to be honest with you, with an older DeGen and co. But they've not looked as consistent as I want. Although I'd say laying 8.5 against UNLV, I would take them if I had to on the spreads.
No way. Second half plays on the K-State, Oak State first half under.
Okay, that's massive.
Rab just dropped the get nice. So if you want to just call it that it hit already, we can do that now. Congrats, Rab.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I'd love to lock in a parlay that is guaranteed to hit as soon as I place it. Sure.
Florida ML, Iowa ML, Missouri ML, UCLA ML.
I mean, why play the games?
Why?
Why play the games and risk injury or people getting hurt?
Congrats, Rav.
No, I can't even chirp it because I'm on 2 of those plays.
Yeah, can you pull it up, Gootsy?
Florida and Iowa. Say it again? I was so ready to cash it on feed, dude. I was gonna cash it on feed. Now I can't do it because it'll lead to my own coin being gone.
Florida, Iowa, Missouri, UCLA, all ML plus 460.
Huh. Okay. Also, I want thoughts on Brent Rooker signing a hometown discount deal.
Dude, I love that. Which I don't want to give. I'll give him credit. I don't want to give the A's credit for it because they're only spending because they have to meet their payroll. Salary floor. Yeah, but that is pretty cool. I'm glad he's not going anywhere else.
Him in Sacramento, he might be the home run leader.
Dude, he's gonna.
Respect to him.
Yeah,
respect to him for wanting to stay. You know, he could have gone somewhere else and taken more money.
I mean, he'll be in Vegas in a couple years.
Yeah,
at the end of his career.
Cool.
Yeah, for the last year of the contract, maybe. I'm not. That might take a little longer than people think. That's going to be 4 or 5 years. We'll see where they play in that stadium.
I don't know. If I'm Rooker though, and what is he like 34? I think I saw him. Maybe that's when he's getting into arbitration.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take my chances, sticking out a little Vegas move instead of maybe falling off.
And it's also. It's not like they are the worst team in the league anymore. They have some young talent. Like they weren't too bad last year. So
they might make the playoffs.
Not saying they can make the playoffs, but
yeah, I'll say it. I'm saying it.
Okay.
Yeah. Huh. The Royals. They're Royals of last year or of this year.
Could be. Zach Geloff legacy year.
Yeah,
we've got our daily
hit the ball.
We could talk baseball for hours, days, even. But we've got our daily Sebernat chat coming in hot. Krabs look at Jokic PRA. Oh, I looked at it. It's one of the more popular squares on Prize Picks, 51 PRA, and I'm taking that less than against the Celtics. Can you co-sign that, Jovan?
I'm probably taking the Celtics, so I'm down with you.
Right now, I got Max Christie less than 1.5 assists, and I got Nikola Jokic less than 51 PRA, just waiting for another leg or two to be cooked. Just marinating in the queue. Waiting, stewing. Okay. All right, let's finish college basketball. There's one more game. Loyola Marymount and St. Mary's late night take me home piece. Do we think Loyola Marymount hangs around against this fraudulent St. Mary's team, or are we afraid to fade them after a couple good bounce back games?
Probably afraid to fade them. It feels like they go on one of these streaks for a while, whether it's at the beginning, middle, or end, really like wherever they don't face the Zags for a couple of games where they are just porking teams. So, I mean, this might be one of them.
This could be one of them. We got DJ Lean coming in, resubbing. Let's go, DJ Lean. Sure we can. What did I miss on Louisville? We didn't talk about that game, did we?
Yeah. You got anything? Those are your boys, Krabs. I don't really got much. I don't want to take.
Yeah, I got something. I don't know if my boys are up for the challenge at home in this game. I know they played much better recently. They've ripped off 4 straight wins, but they're still shorthanded, and Clemson is a very smart veteran squad, even on the roads. I feel like that line's a little short, and I feel like Clemson's probably the play on the spreads.
I don't disagree.
Steve Stusky, we got the sharp report going across the bottom ticker. If you need to see our plays, they're going across right now as we speak. I see mine right on the bottom there. Xavier, Georgia, and Vanderbilt. Sure. Something else in chat. Adam's got picks, W's, and yes, good thing we didn't take that taco less than receptions because I think he balled. One more thing in chat.
The last drive. I think the touchdown was what sent him over.
Ooh. Damn.
I don't think he did. He was ghost pretty much all the game, I'm pretty sure.
Damn. Kobe Bray from Slippin' Jimmy. Peep that line. I like points in that game. I'm not necessarily looking to fade anybody on Kentucky in that game, but I'm looking at that chart. I mean, he's only up for 9.5 points, and he's coming off a 23 piece. So I definitely would lean the less than, but I don't know if I want to take it.
He also, I don't know if he's for sure playing.
Okay.
Because I know he's a little, I don't know if it's banged up or sick after that last game, but could be, I mean, maybe he's Dylan Harper and comes out and he's just absolutely gassed, has the flu and running cardio out there. But yeah, he was absolutely curry against Florida.
When's the next coin toss? I believe that's later today, Jay Gumby. Yes.
In 2 hours.
W reminder. Stay posted. Okay. Also, I don't know why I'm thinking about Coach Mike Bray right now. I think because somebody brought up somebody that rhymed with his name, but Mike Bray is an assistant coach for the assistant coach for the Miami Heat right now. Did you know that?
Is he really? I didn't even know that.
Oh, Hawks. Yes, W Goots.
I was about to be so mad if we had Mike Bray on staff and I didn't know.
No, I mean, you would have known that. That's on me. Excuse me. Yes, the Hawks. Because I was like, I thought he took that college basketball job. There was a mid-major that offered him, and he was thinking about taking it. And then I was like, where's Mike Bray? I haven't heard anything about him for like a year. Looked it up the other day. He's an assistant coach in the NBA. Yes, the Hawks. Good call, Goots. Keep me honest. Crazy. Good for him.
He still tweets about the Irish a lot, so he's still involved somewhat somewhat South Bend. Yeah, he's a goat.
He's still rooting for the Irish. That guy built that program up.
He did.
Great coach. Great coach. Great guy. All right. Well, Jovan, I'm looking at 2 prize pick squares in my queue right now. Max Christie and Nikola Jokic. And here's my brain is heading. It's heading to the NHL category, and it's heading to the goals allowed section, where I want to take a peep and see if they have anything up.
You got nothing.
It's like they only have Jonathan Quick. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got nothing.
I do see somebody in chat saying take a peep at Swayman saves. I think I saw that earlier.
It's pretty high, yeah.
See if I can find it. Oh, yeah. Swayman saves on the PP board from Hoffy. 26.5. Whoa. Hey, now. Jovan, you think that's a little weird? Is that weird enough to play?
It's kind of like, I'm not going to tell you no, but I'm telling you it makes sense because they're playing the Oilers.
Yeah. If I like the Oilers in this game, shouldn't I like the more than on this because they're going to be ripping puck?
Debatable. I mean, you rip puck when you're down quite a bit more.
That's a good point. Good point. We got Clam Mucker coming in, resubbing along with DJ Lean. We appreciate you guys. W's. Thank you for the subbies. A lot of subbies today. People getting involved in the chat. Love to see it. Can we look at Beal fantasy? Billy the Kid, actually, no, we cannot.
He probably wants you to fade it.
Ooh.
After his legacy game yesterday.
Max Christie, less than 1.5 assists in the NBA, and Nikola Jokic, less than PRA is what we've got so far.
You could put double bagel Julius Pork 3s in there.
Ooh. Now you're talking. I've been looking for some pork tonight. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Julius Pork, more than 1.5.
Julius Pork, double bagels, feed fam.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to hear me making any arguments. I would love to diversify this portfolio and put something else in from a different sport. But if we don't have anything else, I know there's probably some more options in the NBA, Jovan, so don't force. Do we want to look at Bradley Beal and see if we want to fade him just for a sec? Just for a sec.
I feel like I wouldn't be able to stop you no matter what I said.
No, you could. And I don't even want to do it because he's probably so pissed off he got benched and people are He's probably going home and his whole team around him saying, you shouldn't be coming off the bench. What are you talking about? You're the best player in the NBA. Because that's the kind of bullshit that he believes and thinks and the people around him are telling him because that's how he acts.
This has to be the fade.
I want to.
Krabs. Look at screen.
Chaz
What
points.
Chaz?
He's been going
I don't
nuts.
know, man.
And we love Florida.
I know, but I love points in that game too. I'm a little bit worried about a shootout.
know.
If I like the under in that game, Goots, I would have put it in, no questions asked. I like where your head's at. I love that that's where your brain went.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I want to take a less than in that game.
VJ Edgecombe rebounds on Pop Tab. What the heck?
Interesting.
I see on Pop Tab, man.
Could just take Walter Clayton Jr. and just go about your day.
Could go about your day.
Anybody in chat have a square, any sport to round out this four-man? We got Max Christie, less than assists. Nikola Jokic, less than PRA. Julius Randle, more than 1.5 threes. Would love to put something in here. Oh, Amen Thompson. Well, I wouldn't be opposed, but I definitely would not. Wouldn't mind another sport involved here as well. College basketball, NHL. Wouldn't mind diversifying the portfolio. Are there any goalie save squares up, Jovan, that you liked?
I haven't really dove too much into there. There are a couple red charts, though, I will say, that are pretty interesting. Not just Swayman.
Jordan Binghamton.
I didn't even see that one. That one must have been very, very new.
Jonathan Quick.
Quick's got one. Forsberg has one. Alex Lyon, I think, has one as well. He does.
Yep. Those are the weirdest ones. Forsberg and Lyon.
Yeah.
What do you think about those games?
Those two teams also rip puck. So it makes a little more sense. Not as much as, I guess, Swayman and the Oilers, but that game should be back and forth. So I would not mind that at all. Really, either of those.
Huh. Feels forced. Doesn't feel right.
Does
not feel like an OG goals allowed square. I'll tell you that much. I think we need to find a college basketball square. I think that's what we need. I think we need to find a college basketball square to round this puppy out. Looking through the pop tab.
Looking for fades?
Yeah, a little bit.
Expected.
Looking for some fades. Fading pop tab and CBB, though, is not typically the move.
Yeah, not typically.
Anybody in chat have any college squares? Peep Danny Wolf, Fitz is saying.
Fitz
Don't mind if
could
I
be
do.
Exactly what the doctor ordered.
Don't mind if I do. I'm not loving his points. It's kind of low. And UCLA plays defense, so I'm not really in a rush to take Danny Wolf, but yeah.
Okay, hear me out. Hear me out, because I do have Miles Kelly 3 still out there, but since you already have that, I can probably assume that whether it's Miles Kelly or any of the other shooters, they're going to be getting kickouts from doubles in the post from Janai Broom, who has a 2.5 assist square on the board. That is, I mean, not crazy weird, but not normal either.
I like that Janai Broom square. I like it a lot. Look at his rebounds, they said in chat. I mean, his rebounds is red, too.
Maybe you go RA, 14 and a half.
For that. I think that might have been a chat assist right there.
There we go.
14 and a half rebounds and assists from Janai Broom. Wow.
That could be it.
That fits like a glove. That just feels right. I don't want to let these plays get swept there from chat because I know you guys put some effort into these. Derek White points, 80 points and rebounds from Shark Lark here. Already on Sengun, points and rebounds, or I'm taking his PRA, I think. And then Julius Randle, points. Yeah, we like his 3, Shark Lark, so you're on the right page there. Love it. Love
Threes is juicy too. Might want to lock some of that in.
Oh. All right, I'm locking this in right now. 4-piece, and I will drop the link in the chat as well. Okay. Shit, I gotta log in. Please work. Please work.
This might be the difference.
Yes. We're in, folks.
Let's go.
I'm dropping link. You guys want the link?
I don't know if they want it.
They might not want link. And that's okay.
Might not want link.
They might not want the link. But I have it for them if they want it. Chat, I'll drop it in the Twitch chat, okay? If you're watching on YouTube, make your way over here anyways. We got the squad ride coming up. Okay? I just dropped the link to that 4-man in the Twitch chat. Okay? Dubs. Jovan, how do you feel about the Lightning against the Canes from Hoffy?
I might be going to that game tonight. We'll see. But
oh, no way.
Yeah, they have been really, really bad. They just got back from their West Coast road trip today, and they scored, I think, 3 total goals in the 3 games. I think they scored 1 goal in each of the games that they lost 3 in a row. So now they get to come back. This is, I think, the game that got canceled for the Hurricane and was supposed to be at the start of the season on the little back-to-back, but they rescheduled it to now. Probably getting their get back tonight. So I was probably planning on taking the Lightning when they came back from this, especially being that Vasi didn't start that last game. So anytime we get an extended rest, Vasi, I love backing the Lightning, love backing him, especially when it's in a low scoring game. So this is probably a grimy, like 3-1 Lightning win.
Okay. That could be good to see boots on grounds. Hoffy said, count me in. Sure.
Yeah,
okay.
I would take your I think there's a couple hit squares on the board. This game's going to be physical, so I would not mind taking those squares. I haven't looked too much at them yet, but probably will get involved, especially from there.
All right, Chad, I'm also going to lock in this Sharp Report 4-man before anything gets taken down or bumped. It literally gets bumped every single day. So I'm going to lock that in now, and I'll drop the link for that as well here in a sec. Is there anything else on the ice that you want to tell the people about, Jovan, now that we're here?
Yeah, there's really not much that I really loved in the slate, which was surprising because, usually on a Tuesday or Thursday slate, you can pick out quite a bunch that you want to go to, but not really, to be honest with you. I was looking at a couple of games, even like some of the non-marquee games, like you would always love to take an over in CBJ against the Penguins. It's probably free, probably going to hit. Penguins are getting steam. I think their offense shows up today, so they might have to carry the weight there. Late night over that I was debating on getting involved in between VGK and the Sharks. I think there's goals from that. The Sharks have been, I wouldn't say oddly, because it makes sense when you have the whole goalie situation coming about. And the Sharks, I think, are starting to play really well and gel, just like we all kind of thought. They've been really good defensively. I don't think VGK is going to let that happen. Feels like the game they blitz the Sharks pretty early and make them play from behind, so we open it up with goals. But other than that, I don't have too many angles on the ice, to be honest with you.
That's all right. What about the NBA? Anything else sticking out in the NBA? You mentioned the Celtics. Thinking about playing them.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Celtics. I think they muck on the road against the Nugs.
Okay.
I mean, Celtics, you don't really get them too much in a bounce back spot because they never lose. They're the greatest team of all time. So when you get one on national television against the reigning MVP, yeah, take it.
Chat saying the Julius Pork Randall square is gone. No way, it's already gone.
Julius Pork.
No way, it's already gone.
Hey, Pork.
And it's gone. And it's gone. Unbelievable. How do they do it?
Double bagel pork, man.
I locked it in and I dropped the link to give you guys a second to lock it in, but I don't know if anybody got it. Jovan, if people still want to take Julius Pork, how would you recommend they pivot? Should they take the 2.5 Demon 3? Should they take his points, which also look very red? What do you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, I know some people were in chat saying they liked his points too. Maybe that was Shark Lark, and he's a Minnesota guy. So yeah, take his points. I was really only taking it because of the double bagel 3s, but
all right,
feel free.
Well, hope somebody in chat got that in. I know I did.
Yeah,
Godly got it in. Let's go.
I like to
All right.
spray. I like to spray my double bagels though. I'm mad.
Spray
That's
those
gonna be
pups.
the only lineup. Only lineup I'm gonna have the double bagel in.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's
That's tough. All right. We got Mike and Dude coming in, resubbing 21 months. Let's fucking go, Mike. And sure we can. We appreciate you, Beast. All right, Gootsy, you got a POD today? Before we get into the squad ride and get to that point, do we have a Gootsy POD? I want to make sure the floor is yours. If you have anything for the people.
Yeah, I think it's Michigan. I hate Mick Cronin. Tired of the UCLA team, Mickey Mouse, Michigan ML.
Mickey Mouse Mick.
Yeah.
Fading them.
Yeah.
All right.
Mickey Mouse Mick.
I like Michigan tonight
Literally
too.
a Mickey
I
Mouse.
do. Mickey Mouse Mick. All right.
Yeah.
I think you could be onto something there. And yeah,
Could be.
Hoffy in chats. We did already lock in that TNT 2-piece. I think I dropped the link to it, but I will drop it one more time because the stream cut out while we did that. But it's Spencer Dinwiddie more than 12.5 points and Kristaps Porzingis more than 24.5 points and rebounds. Here's a link. Here it is. Lock it in. Go, go, go. All right. Dubs. Well, Jovan, we could start crafting for the squad ride since we are 1 and 2 for this month. I don't have anything else really top of mind in NBA or NHL, and we did already craft up the TNT 2-piece. So we can get to the squad ride if you're ready.
I'm ready. Let's get after it.
Dude, so do me a favor, run that puppy. I want to see that train. All right, chat. Somehow, some way, I don't know how they did it. It's probably Rav's fault, but the Spurs blew it last night after winning the entire game. We got to bounce back and get those coins returned home safe. Plain and simple. Jovan, a lot of plays today to choose from. We got a lot of winners. I love my plays today. I hated them yesterday. I love them today. So I don't know if you want to pick one or two out of mine, but Xavier, Georgia, and Vandy. I probably like Georgia and Vandy the most, to be honest with you. But you got any qualms with any of those plays?
No qualms. Take the reign. I want your
All right,
confidence.
I'm going to take Georgia and Vandy. Yep, Georgia and Vandy. We'll start with that. And then looking at your plays, I like all three of them. I feel like, seeing the tweet notif go off of the first half under from second half plays there for the 20-unit POD max. I feel like we just have to put that over in there.
Yeah.
Right?
Feels like a sign.
And then what do you like better, Iowa or Utah plus 17.5?
Utah, I was looking for every reason I could think of and look to just not bet this. But my plums were all over it, which is why I made an appearance. So
Yep.
I'd probably say Utah.
We're putting them in. The Utah Utes. Why not us? I wish we could put Florida in here, chat, but it's just simply too juicy. I guess while we get this poll up, we can let it run for 5 minutes. We'll give the people some extra time today. If people are in YouTube, they can come over to the Twitch chat and lock in their vote as well. 4 plays, 4 winners. Georgia plus 2.5, Vandy plus 2.5, Kansas State, OK State over 146.5, and Utah plus 17.5. 4 plays, 4 winners. Lock in your vote. While the people vote for that, Jovan, I guess I can ask you, or we can talk about what to pair Florida with. If people are looking to pair Florida with a juicy ML, what should they look to pair it with? I was thinking about Mizzou, but now that Rav has that in his Get Nice, I'm a little bit concerned about having that be Steam Krabs 2.0 tomorrow. So do you have a juicy favorites that you're eyeing anywhere? It could be on the ice. It could be preferably not in the NBA, but if it is, so be it. It could be in CBB as well. But is there, a -7 to -10 favorite you think we could pair on the ML and get this back to -100?
I'd have to do the math on this one probably, but what if we took it to what day is this? What if we took it to Sunday?
Okay.
I was looking for the second game. What if we took it to Sunday, Krabs?
And what? Put it on the commies ML?
Definitely not that, no.
What do you want to pair with on Sunday?
Take it to Josh Allen.
The Bills
that would probably get us close.
Do we need to take it to Sunday?
I don't know. I like when we take it to Sunday.
and have those
Or
units
Saturday.
pending.
Or Saturday.
Or Saturday. Yeah. That'd be too juicy, probably, Gootsy. Probably just play that one normally. Yeah, I might have to. Why not Friday Buckeyes? Well, because they might lose, unfortunately. Looking at that spread.
Yeah, I don't want Friday Buckeyes.
And it'll be on Texas there. Well, let's keep that back pocket because the Bills is probably a pretty darn good look, Jovan. But maybe there's a college basketball play today if we scroll through and can find juicy favorites. Maybe today.
No, I'm scrolling through right now.
We might be shit out of luck.
I don't know. There's too many juicy favorites I feel
Marquette
incredibly
ML.
confident in. Other than
Marquette ML probably doesn't move needle. It's probably a little too sketchy as well against Georgetown.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Iowa ML, but you like that enough to play straight.
It's also in the get nice. I was avoiding that.
Okay.
Avoiding collabs.
Okay. Well, shit.
Wow, we
Could be Auburn.
Could be Auburn. That might not move neat enough either, though.
Wasn't there another favorite in CBB today that we liked? A bigger favorite?
Could just pair with Lamar to win the MVP.
You could. You physically could do that, yeah. You could.
Goods, man. Goods, man.
We might be taking this to Sunday, folks.
You know what? I'm going to take it to Sunday, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm also going to put the Ravens in it, which doesn't add pretty much anything, but I'm hoping they sell it.
What?
Florida Ravens Bills
What?
plus 130.
What?
And Jovan, you're rich. Congrats.
I'm sure.
Congratulations. You are rich.
I'm actually so sure.
Unbelievable. Akron money line from Dead Larry Bird at the buzzer. Central Michigan hasn't won a game since Nam. It definitely scares me. Maybe we take it to Sunday. Put the Bills in that fucker. I'm not opposed. Pair with the Ravens to win the bowl. Ooh. Yeah, squad ride's tied, guys. So can we get involved here, please? Can we get some votes in? Come on, 4 plays, 4 winners. We got Georgia and Vandy plus 2.5. We got Kansas State, OK State over. And we've got Utah plus 17.5. What's it going to be? Either Georgia or that over. And guys, remember, if it ties, that means we get to pick. Okay, there's no parlays. There's no fun. There's no two-piece. We get to pick it. Okay, looks like it's going to be that over in the college basketball game, which I'm not opposed to. And some last-second life from Georgia. Look at that. I spoke too soon.
And immediate.
It's a crazy poll, and people are just fucking around. People are just changing their votes, and they're messing around. They're having fun with it. You know what? That's okay. That's okay. We've got Kansas State, OK State over 146.5 for the squad rides. We are fading the second half plays, 100 unit first half under in that game, which is music to my fucking ears. Love to see it. Kansas State, OK State over 146.5. Jovan, good looking play. Love it.
Yeah, let's get it.
Love
that
it.
one might be nasty, might be gross.
Ooh.
Let's climb and get there.
Wouldn't want it any other way. Okay. W's chat. We appreciate you guys, all the subbies coming in today. You guys killed it. All right. We appreciate all the vibes, all the chats, all the subbies. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. We'll be